Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Tuesday stream, which I get to share an update on what we're doing, and also we get to learn about. So for a start, we'll learn about how to use Kimi. Actually, I haven't watched the video, but I think it's Kimi that is number one open source model out there currently. Either Kimi or DeepSeek. So I want to watch it, so I was like, let's watch it together. Then from there, talk about Gigowi, and it's quite exciting. What I've been able to push, and after that, get to talk about what we call it again. Yeah, we should go through the news and call it a day. Okay, so let's get into it. This is it.
AI dumping. About a third of corporations now are supposedly using Chinese lightweight, open weight models that are cheaper. If I were Xi, I would just dump cheap AI into the US market. I think the US market crashes. We're immediately in recession.
The open models are not as far behind as we first thought.
A new Chinese model just beat Claude.
It honestly might be over for Claude and ChatGPT. Kimi K3 was just released, and this changes everything we know about the Chinese open source models. Because just look at the benchmarks. Kimi K3 is right up there with Fable 5 and GPT 5.6, which is absolutely insane considering it's an open source model. And you can even see in many of the benchmarks it actually scores over GPT 5.6. And in the benchmark program bench, it actually ranks higher than both GPT and Fable. Same in this benchmark right here as well. However, you should know by now that the benchmarks don't tell the entire truth. So is Kimi K3 actually as good as these benchmarks say it is? The results might surprise you. If you don't know me, my name is Albert. I didn't start out technical, but because I learned how to use AI, I've built $2 million companies. Not because I'm the smartest, I just learned how to use AI. And now we are making AI education free for everyone. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. By the end of this video, you'll know if Kimi K3 is actually as good as people say it is, and if we need to be canceling our Claude plans. Because it honestly might seem like we have to. Let's not waste any more time, let's get into it. We have already taken a look at the benchmarks, which looks absolutely insane. I honestly couldn't believe this when I saw them the first time, because this is completely changing how we should look at open source models. Let me explain why. Kimi K3 is almost a 3 trillion parameter model, which is by far the largest open source model ever created. You can see DeepSeek right here, which is in second place, is a 1.6 trillion parameter model. Kimi K3 is almost twice as large. It's honestly insane some of the things that people have built with this. Someone even built a black hole. These are some of the coolest things that people have built, but we of course need to be doing our own tests so we know if it's actually a model that we should be using. And we're going to be doing that in just a second. To test this model, we're going to be using Kimi Code, which is the absolute best for what we're trying to build in this video, which is going to be absolutely insane. To install it, we're just going to search for Kimi Code, click on the top link, and this gives us this code right here that we can just copy into our terminal. So I'm going to go back into Visual Studio Code. In the top, I'm going to click Terminal, New Terminal, and I'm just going to paste this in to install Kimi. After it's installed, we need to restart our terminal, so we can just close this down and then open up a new terminal. And then we can write Kimi and hit enter. And now you can see we are inside of Kimi Code. We can just write /login now and then log in with a Kimi account. This will open up our browser, and here we can just authenticate. You can see login successful. And if we go back, you can see it says login. One of the most important things is of course the pricing of these coding tools. And as you probably know by now, Claude Pro is $20 a month. But one of the biggest bottlenecks with Claude in general is the usage limits, especially if you're using Fable, which is what's on the benchmarks. You're going to be running into rate limits almost instantly. And soon, Fable will also only be available on the Max plan, which is $100 a month. But that shouldn't come as a surprise, Claude is expensive. When it comes to Codex, you need the $20 a month plan. But to be fair, with Codex, you do get a lot of usage. However, with Kimi, you can get started for $15 a month. So I'd say Kimi wins there. To do a fair test, I'll create 3 folders. I'm going to create a new folder that I called Kimi. Then I'm going to create another folder that I'm going to call Claude, and the last folder is going to become Codex. Those are the 3 models that we'll be testing in this video. I'm going to go out of this session now, and then I'm going to cd, basically go into the folder of Kimi, and same here, cd into Claude, and same here, cd into Codex. And then we can just rename these to be Codex, to be Claude, and to be Kimi. Now we have all of the sessions, and I of course have subscriptions to absolutely everything. So we can open up Kimi code in this folder, Claude in this folder, and Codex in this folder. And the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to test out the Kimi model, because I haven't even tested it yet before making this video. Is it as good as people say it is? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to give it an improved prompt by saying, please build an improved prompt for building out a video game. I want a one-to-one replica of Pac-Man with all of the features that Pac-Man should have and the styling, so we get that one-to-one replica. Please build out that improved prompt. Code type is then going to build out an improved prompt for us, like that. You can see it has all of the things that should be included in Pac-Man, so now we can just hit enter. I'm very excited to see what Kimi can build from just this. And of course, we also need to remember to set it to the right model. Right now it's set to Kimi 2.7, but we need to write /model, and then of course set it to K3. Run the prompt again. Of course, important that we actually use the right model. I'm very excited to see what it builds. Great, it is now finished. Let's restart it. It looks like we have a fully functioning Pac-Man game. We even have the sound effects as well. Gonna turn those off though. This looks very, very good. I'm very impressed with how well this turned out. This looks very impressive. What about all the small details, like being able to go over like through the other side right here? It has basically built it perfect one-to-one. Very, very impressive. However, not the best at Pac-Man. Time to compare as well with Claude and Codex. Here we have the game that Claude built. Looks similar, however it is a little smaller, but it is also a fully functioning Pac-Man, so Paul definitely also did very well on that. Very impressive. And for the last one, let's do Codex, reveal in Finder, open this one up as well. Alright, here we have insert coin, so it's done a little more in terms of that. I don't know if I like that. I didn't ask it to do this. Insert coin, alright. Oh, this doesn't look very good. The frames on this is very bad, and you can see the game is way more slow paced. And we just went through a wall right here. Again, very buggy. So Kimi and Claude definitely wins that. I didn't actually expect that. I thought Codex would perform very well here as well, but we are running into the walls. It's very laggy. The frames are very bad on this. Very interesting. I want to do another test, which is one of the use cases I use AI for the most, which is front-end design. So let's try and give a prompt again, where we tell all of the models to build out a clean website. Write an improved prompt for a very, very clean website for a dental business. It should include all of the images as well. It should have a very high converting form at the bottom. Include all of the sections that a high converting website has. And please do a detailed description of the theme that should be very futuristic and very modern. Write an improved prompt for that. Code type will write out the improved prompt, so we can use that for every single model. This looks very, very good. So let's give that to Kimi. And let me copy this and give it to Claude as well, and to Codex as well. The exact same prompts, and let's see how they perform. All 3 models have now made a detailed plan of what they want to build, so let's ask it to build it out in Next.js. Please build out this website in a new folder in Next.js and Tailwind CSS. Make it clean with good animations. All models have now made a design of a website, so I'm going to tell them to build it out. Please build out this website in Next.js and Tailwind CSS. That's all we need to give it. Transcribe that, hit enter, and then I'm just going to copy this and paste it into Claude and Codex as well. And now we're going to have 3 different websites, and I'm very excited to see which one actually does the best job when it comes to front-end design, which is very important for me when I'm building out stuff. Very excited to see the results. There we go. All 3 models are now done. Let's start with Kimi, that's running in localhost 3000, and initial experience looks very, very clean. No intro animations, however, but if we scroll, then we have some animations. All of this looks extremely clean, and I'm very impressed with the images that we have right here. This looks very cool as well, and you can see it's designed so we can insert our own images. We have a testimonial section, we have our dentist. This is an extremely clean website that we could probably sell from anywhere around 500 to $1,000. And it's also a high converting website. It's not like we get overwhelmed when we go to it. Overall, a very, very professional website made by Kimi in literally just a couple of minutes. And everything on the website is also working. We have clean animations, very, very complete from start to finish. Very impressed that we can build all of this, and we can build a bunch of websites like this for $15 a month. Let's look at the others. This is Claude Code. Also looks very good. Claude Code has actually gone in and found its own images, which looks nice. And then at the top, we have this bar right here, which, because I said it should be high converting, is actually a good idea. This will convert more people, get more people to call. Also, right off the bat, a very good website for local business. We have Google reviews right here. We have our services. Book free consultation takes into the form at the bottom, which also looks good. Let us scroll through. This looks good too. Almost a bit too many different services, I would say. Would almost overwhelm the customer. And then we have a dark mode section. This looks cool. This one right here, before and after, also looks cool, but of course we would need to insert a good image right here. Then we have the people, the testimonial section, all of this looks very, very good. I almost like the other one better. We've been used to Claude Code absolutely dominating with front end, but like this almost look better than this in my opinion. It's more minimalistic. I actually like Kimi's better. How interesting, Claude has already been best at front end. And let's try Codex and see how that looks. Codex went with a bit of a different vibe. Still looks good. We have this little 4.9 out of 5 down here in the bottom right corner. Very impressed with all of these models, by the way, that they can create such a good website. But that's also because we gave it quite a good prompt. Then we have this card right here, this feeling. The feeling is mutual. Also a very clean website. It's modern, it's good, it looks professional. However, some of the things are kind of off, like this text up here is too small. This number right here, like you wouldn't really get people to click this. Kind of a small website. I'll almost like it better if it was like a bit zoomed in. But of course it's not like that. It's almost like Codex in general has a bit of a worse taste when it comes to design. And that's also why I've always used Claude Code when it comes to the design before that. But like Kimi's up there. I would say it's definitely just as good as Claude Code when it comes to front-end design. And that's absolutely insane. And I wanted to check my usage as well with Kimi. And so far we've only used 5% of our 5-hour usage and 0.7% of our total usage. That is pretty insane. Kimi is definitely up there, but let's talk about how I'm actually going to use it in my business and how you should use it too. Should we cancel our Claude plans now? Well, let me tell you. Something very interesting is happening right now, and all of a sudden I understand why after testing Kimi myself in this video. This graph shows the Chinese AI models and how much they're used by US companies. And what you'll be able to see is this is skyrocketing right now. US companies are switching from the US model providers to the Chinese model providers, like Kimi, like DeepSeek, like GLM. And why is that? Well, the main reason is because it's much, much cheaper. If we search up Fable 5 pricing and go to Claude's website, you can see that it's $10 per million tokens input and $50 per million tokens output. And if you look at the Kimi K3 pricing, it's $3 per million tokens input and $15 per million tokens output. So it is much, much cheaper, 1/3 of the price. So it makes really good sense why people are switching when it's even less than 1/3 of the cost. But what does this mean for us? Does this mean that I should go in and cancel my $200 a month Claude plan? It depends. Let me explain. Fable 5, which I still think is the best model right now, will only be available if you're paying $100 a month for Claude. And if you're using it via the API, then it's even more expensive. So if you're like the regular AI user that spends $20 a month on a subscription, I would honestly recommend Kimi over Claude, because with a $20 a month Claude subscription, you will not have Fable 5 and you run into usage limits very, very quickly. However, I'm on the basic Kimi plan right now and my usage is looking really, really good. Usually I have recommended Codex if you only wanted to pay $20 a month, but honestly, Kimi K3 is kind of just better. We proved that with both the video game and the front-end design. And if you told me that an open source model like Kimi would have been so good just like a month ago, I wouldn't have believed you. And this is both incredibly frightening, but also pretty good for us.
Okay, I think at this point we can just pause here. I can take a pause here. But the main point is Kimi K3 is really impressive, and the testimonies from those I've not used it personally. I think I just checked it out, but I didn't do much with it. I didn't even code it. He just look it up, wanted it, and just But with what he's doing here, like, it's really impressive what Kimi can actually do. And yeah, moving on to Gigowi, before going to bed, I try to I've actually purchased the Gigowi domain, so I try to connect it. I don't know if it has been connected or not. And yeah. So gigowi.com is live. Today I'll be working on connecting it with a search engine. So today I'll be working on basically enabling it for search engine optimization. And what else again? Let's just make loading a bit slowly. Yes, what's going on? Okay, sorry about the interruption. Gigowi.com is live, as I've said. I bought the domain last night, connected it, and now you can see this was before I slept off. That was earlier today, around 3 4 a.m. I checked it and found out that the records were not updated, and I had to do that. And as it stands, it has been connected successfully. It has been connected. Yeah. And also I've connected the app.gigowi.com to take you to the landing page. But now I need to also, and also I need to work on connecting this. And I also had plans of having the domain connected to this. Let me see if I can add mapping to the backend so that instead of calling the costume cloud run domain, because possibly in the future I might move to another backend service of Google. I'm considering so that I'll be able to dockerize everything with Redis and post it on possibly Compute Engine or any other service in case of scenario like that. So let me see. I can call it backend.gigowi.com and click on continue. And continue. So with that being done, let me see. I'll come back to it later on. Also, there's another thing I need to share that helped me yesterday in getting a cheap domain, and it's tldlist.com. I tweeted about it yesterday. If you're not following me on Twitter, to a neutral. So tldlist.com. Visit it if you want to like get the best domain deal out there. For example, Wix wasn't working yesterday, so I actually used Wix was working, but there was an issue. I think I have to use it with their hosting. So I actually worked on Spaceship. I used Spaceship yesterday to like host my domain, and I got it at this $5.448. I would normally have gone for the almost $9 option on Namecheap, but thanks to TLDS, I was able to achieve. So a construction is going on around here, but I still have to stream. Let me complete what I'm doing. So TLDL lists usually it updates. I've known about it for close to a year now, and whenever I'm getting a domain, I usually get a good deal from there. Okay, I have accounts with Spaceship due to their weeks, Namecheap, Hostinger. I think they okay. Hostinger I actually started using Hostinger when I realized that they support on crypto payments. So it gives you details about it, coupon code, and how to get started and all that. Yeah. So that's it. I needed to share that also. TLD list helps you with the best domain name, like where you get the best domain name out there. So with that being said, let's this is up, but I've not linked it yet with the base landing page. I have not done that. Okay, want to get some things right, possibly. And also, I'm working on creating the content also. So I use Claude because my Claude on anti-gravity has expired. So I had to use Claude for that. And this is the market research. I've been working on it because Claude is making some assumptions that is not reality of what I had in mind. So I've been reviewing the market research, and also I plan on updating the pitch deck. Okay, so with the pitch deck in place and that the market research, I think I'm good to go. I can start to create content, and also I plan on using Claude for the content to be created. Okay, let's give him a moment that this guys will. Okay, so let's continue here, and why is this far behind? So I was talking about the market research, and so I'm still reviewing it and all that. I haven't read this yet. I just prompted Claude and went to bed because actually I hit my limit on the free plan yesterday. So I had to go to bed and early this morning. Looked at that. So after the stream, I'll be going through it calmly and also work on the pitch deck. So the pitch deck helps in how I'm able to present this idea, you know. And what else again? What else? What else? What else? What else? Am I going to talk about? Flutterwave is giving me issue. Serious issue. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to go live on Flutterwave. And that might be one thing that will delay me. That might be one thing that will delay me. Like, and also I got a list of websites for getting leads. So I can hit the ground running. I actually generated a video yesterday using what is it called? What's the name again? I've forgotten. Yeah, this is it. Okay. I need to basically export this into Canva and edit it because what they're giving me is not adding up. But anyways, Gemini Omni will be free, I think, for 4 days or something like that. I saw the announcement on X, so I'm trying to capitalize on it to generate enough video for my product. Okay, so this is the video, but the video is still awkward to be honest. Like, why is the sound not coming out at the start and coming out at the middle? But anyways, I wrote the prompt off the top of my head. Look at the initial video generated. I might post this, I might not post this, so let's see how it goes. But once I'm done with the research using Claude, I might just get on with this thing, with generating content samples enough for promotional videos and writings and all that. So a content strategy for the next 2 weeks that I'll be using to promote the platform. And also I might launch it. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So tomorrow I'll make my first post, Thursday make the second post, Friday get to launch it. Friday is good for launch, and boom, and shill it a lot over the weekend. And launching it, I don't know if I can use product hunt since the payment method is not supported by. I'm experiencing an issue with Flutterwave. might look for an alternative. I just don't know. It's quite frustrating, to be honest. It's quite frustrating, but I'll find a way around it. I would have loved to have Stripe, but I don't know, to be honest. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll make my research and figure it out. So that's it about Gigowi. And next up is, let's go through some tech news on TechCrunch. Possibly just two news, 2 to 3 news, and that's it. I don't like talking about it, guys. Basically, they don't really interest me. I know about them. I know about people. I'm talking about their behavior and all that. I know about people postulating about them behavior. I don't really care. But their industry is something that I don't really like. No fancy, not interested. It's boring. Or let me how like it is Palantir. So let me open this menu down. Finally fix it. So it does. Why does it feel climatic? I don't care. Who is legally to blame for traffic? Let's see. AWS is helping fight coding startups backlog. Let me see. Alternate turns your safe pools into a real world adventure. Whisperflow is preparing to launch a meeting note taker. There are a lot of meeting note takers out there. Anyways, they have an install stream from themselves already. So they're just trying to get into as much market as possible. I'm not interested in reading the news. Yeah. Currently the Gigowi app, well, if you click on login or get started, nothing happens. Share user internet connection with strangers. Let's also draw backlash and then use of AI content. OpenAI took what appears to be a handful of influencers to a luxury retreat in upstate New York for what's called Summer Club. There, the creators were treated to farm-to-table dinners, wellness activities like beekeeping, and classes on how to better use OpenAI products. One thing I really fancy as a person is beekeeping. Classes on how to get better. One creator posted about making a website, while another took a photo of a picture that said painting workshop on it. But many of the comments were not. One influencer posted about she so like people. I feel like it's still the hustle, influencer hustle. So why would you be hating on OpenAI? Like, what's the negative implication of OpenAI taking them on this thing? Because if an influencer sells a product to you, you are supposed to like review it. You know, like you trusting an influencer blindly, you're the one that will face the repercussion. You know, except the influencer basically maliciously sold something to you. That's why, because influencer will just tell you about a product and leave it up to you to make your final decision. I don't fancy this kind of news or hating our influencers for doing their job. It's legally to blame for mention yeah. Well, now I think that would be the AI agent, the person that owns the AI agent. Actually, AI agents can be sued. So I think the person that owns that is responsible for, how will I put it? The person that sent the AI agent, can I say that? The person that triggered it, yeah, to get into that mode will be responsible, because you're supposed to have guardrails in place. So in this case, it's open AI. So let's say it's an actually criminal offense that was committed by the agent. Open AI is liable for that. If it's an individual that took their personal agent to like do such and without reporting it, the person is liable for that, because agents should represent your this thing. How do I put it? The person, like the agent and the person that triggered it should be tied together. Okay, except the agent spawned that. When the agent spawned another agent, it's just like you owning a pet. If your pet does something, you're responsible for what your pet did. So that's the same way the agent who agent goes rogue or basically hack a platform. That is how you should be treated, basically. Personally, that is my personal opinion. I think I'll share this in the chat. I'll share this in the chat. And what else again? AWS is helping by coding status backlog and the application are big. It's just a business deal. Anyways, with that, okay, symbol. And earlier the guy created this thing. How do I call it? Pac-Man using. I was like, possibly that's what we'll be doing with symbol today. Created Pac-Man using K3. Actually, symbol under the code uses Gemini 3.6 Flash. Yeah. So let's see how Pac-Man will work here. The Ludo game created last time wasn't. Oh, this was created for a demo I had with someone. This was created basically for a demo I had with someone. As you can see, roll dice. So you are playing against a bot. So I'm the red hero. I will deploy this game. So this was an interview for a product manager role, and I felt I messed up a whole lot of things. I could have spent more time explaining the whole idea of the game and all that. Anyways, let me go back and work on deploying this game. I think, can you win against 4 bots and then use AI to generate the cover? Visibility public. Why is the cover image taking this long to generate? So it will be reviewed and approved by the admin. So I told you I have a team working on this week, which I work on this week. So as an admin, the game Pac-Man creates a modern variant of a Pac-Man And from the Kimichi video watched earlier, I think Kimichi was better than Claude in that this thing, but Claude had something extra. He took note of the fact the guy mentioned a high converting landing page. I think I also use Claude here for that. Okay, how to make Gigowi highly converting. Things to mention, things that can be added and removed, and all that. Because it really matters. Your landing page is the entry point. You want to make sure that users want to use your product. Okay. You want to ensure that users want to use your product. So let's see what it came up with. What's going on? What's this? I think there's an issue. Oh, I guess it's my prompts. This modern variant causes made it to maybe the agent want to get creative. Let me see something. Okay, I think I understand it better now. This this would be better much played on foot. Anyways, I'll deploy this also. I don't have enough to deploy, so I'll come back to it later on. So with that, we have come to the end of the stream for today, and this is it. This is it. So have a lovely day ahead, and hopefully Gigo will be live tomorrow. No, Gigo will be live on Friday. Why I'm able to put things in order, having promotions created tomorrow. I'll be able to share the promotions. So bye for now.